well, that's a good intro. I kind of thought that was a cool intro to a video. Hey, you know what? We've all been cooped up a little bit. Hey, Randy Bishop with you, and Randy E. Bishop with you. It is Monday, April the... Anybody?
13th.
13th! All right. You know, my assistant, the lovely Carrie behind the screen, is just dropping the ball a little bit. Anyway, hey, today is Monday, and it is a songwriting process day, and I opened it up with just a little bit of fun using the keyboard, and the arpeggio and drum track generator. And of course, today's program brought to you by Batman and the letters R, E, and B. But just basically using the little arpeggiator right there. A little bit electronic kind of thing for you. But that's not what we're here to do today. Just having some fun. So, Batman's got to spend the day with us, with all the craziness here out in the world. You have to have somebody on your side. And, hey, just in case y'all wondering, I do wear a Batman hat. It's just, to me, it's kind of better if it's back this way. Not because I'm gangsta or anything. It's just I don't like the look of a hat forward. Anyway, it's just me. So, so thank you so much for joining me. Been here for a couple minutes, haven't said a darn thing to you, but hey, let's just enjoy the day. I was thinking about what we're going to do today and how to let you into the process of my life and my creativity. And sometimes I just don't have much of a process. I've told you a lot of the little things. We've walked through things from lyrics to how I take a cell phone and sing into some ideas. Oh, that's my wife on the face of my cell phone. Say hi, Carrie.
Hi.
And we walked through all those kind of things. We worked on lyrics together. I've shown you how I do some of that. I've shown you how I transfer from the phone concept to getting it into my software. And then I went to all kinds of stuff, actually, created here and there and wrote a lot of different things. So what I figured I would do today with you is, as many people know right now, I'm in the pre-production. I shouldn't actually say pre-production. I've been pre-producing it for quite a while. I guess I start to blur the lines between pre-producing and going ahead and finish producing new projects. So, now, you know what? If you're here with me, thank you so much for joining me. If you would you hit like? Would you hit share? Maybe do a watch party. I know my wife does that, and lets extra people know who I am, what I do, and I would appreciate it if you would do the same. So if you could do that, great. If you enjoy what you hear, if you enjoy what you see today, there is a tip jar right at the top by the description, and if you want to leave a tip for me, that would go a long way to helping me out. Thank you so much. So back to what I was saying. I blur the lines sometimes between creating, pre-producing, and then actually producing a final product. So in the last few years, things have changed a lot just because we've moved a lot. My setup has changed. I don't currently spend any time recording like in a studio, though I'd love to go do that. Right now, what I do is I do everything right here with my trusty, here I'll show you, with my trusty keyboard, with my trusty Batman, with my trusty DAW, with my guitars, and pretty much everything's software based. If you hear any of my music anywhere, anytime, currently, it has been done right here in my setup. And so I do all the playing, I do all the programming, with the exception of a few people who've sung, like my daughter Christiana has come and sung. If you hear a song that has choir or a lot of people singing in the background, that's all been me. Once in a while Christiana has sung, and Carrie sang with me on one song a couple years ago. So Yes, it was great too. If you think she was great, and if you've heard this song, which is Crazy About My Girl, because she sings Crazy About My Man, make sure to give her a thumbs up and let her know that it was cool. So anyway,
If you don't want to give a thumbs up, that's okay too.
Hey, don't listen to her. Pay no attention to the woman behind the curtain. So I blur a lot of the pre-production songwriting, production stuff, okay? And I gotta be honest, as a creative, especially singer-songwriter, when you get busy working a job or you get busy playing or learning to play someone else's songs because you're going out just trying to make some money, it does get a little difficult to know where to draw a line with some things. So what I figured I'd show you today is my process of where I'm at in my current album. Last week, was it last week? Gosh, 2 weeks ago, tomorrow, I actually wrote a song and went online live with it the very same day. And I did that 4 times that same week, and last week I did it 3 times. So in the last 2 weeks, I actually created a song and played it live on LiveStream the same day. And as Carrie and I were talking over the last couple weeks, she said, you basically have another album ready. And I was like, wow, that's really true. So I really have to get going on the album at hand. And so that's kind of lit a fire under my, after a couple weeks in and doing nothing but eating a lot and sitting, pretty ample bottom. Shut up. Where was I? Got lost there because she's laughing. Okay, so it's really lit a fire under my bottom to get back into my album project and see where I'm at and where I'm going. So today you're going to get some preview of what I've been doing. You've heard the songs. If you've been tuning in for the last couple months, almost every song from this project I have played during a live stream concert, but maybe not all of them. So what I did the other day, and I thought I would just share the process that I go through, so that you can kind of see how this album's unfolding, actually. I have done a lot of different work on a lot of different songs. Originally, I had 25 songs fleshed out, and I ended up with about 13 that I've decided this makes the cut. And so I have 2 files full. I have a lot of things going on in my DAW, and some songs are very far along. Some songs I haven't really touched them. So I'm going to show you the process I have of saying, okay, I've been in pre-production. What's the next step for each song? Okay? So I hope that's enjoyable to you. I hope it's something you can enjoy. First up is the title track. The song is called The E is for Everything. It really what it means is my middle name is E. All of these songs, the lyrics have been worked out. I might have some writing and tweaking happen during recording. But anyway, the E is for Everything is the title track to the album, which will be called The E is for Everything. The E being my middle name, Randy E. Bishop. And basically it's like everybody asks me what my middle name is, and so I don't ever tell them. I just say it's for everything, and then I have a reason why. So what I did over the last few days is I listened back to all the tracks and started to make notes, pre-production notes. Actually production notes at this point to tell myself where I am in the process. So I'm not going to play the whole tune, but I'll play a little bit, give you some of my feedbacks, show you what I'm thinking, why I wrote some things down, and then we'll just go through the album. I'll show you how I work. Okay.
The people come around and they see me singing my songs. They dance and they sing and enjoy themselves all night long. They want to know my name, don't want to keep them in the dark. My first name's not Steve, it's not Michael, Jeff, or Mark. Well, the people come around and they ask, hey, what's your name? I say it. Eager, easy going, economical. I am edgy, I'm edible, and I'm so edifying. I'm effective, I'm effusive. You know I'm elemental. I'm elevated, elongated.
Okay, so that's just a little bit of the song. And I don't know, to you, what little you heard, you might go, wow, that's really pretty good. Okay, to me, let me tell you what I heard. I heard that I was just demoing this song out. And so to me, I think I need to redo probably the acoustic guitar. And what I've done is I've made these notes. Redo the acoustic guitar, maybe. Because I'm not 100% sure. When I wrote this, I was kind of doing it hard and fast, and you know, it's actually a pretty aggressive track. Probably I'll redo the electric guitar, which sits over in this speaker the way I'm hearing it. And I heard some things just in that pass that I went, I need to tweak that. Maybe I'll just replay it. And I'll probably definitely play the bass again because it was really just a scratch. But the whole song does not have any lead guitar in it. So as I listen to it, I go, wow, I love the song. But I'm probably going to need to redo the lead guitar. Or not redo, add lead guitar. Because, you know, I mean, it... as exciting as it can be, with all the lyrics and everything I'm spitting out, just once in a while, you know, you want to hear, you know, just, when you know, let me just give you an example. You're playing.
Ease for everything, and now you know.
You just want to hear
economical. I am edgy.
You just want to hear something extra, and so I'll probably add a lead guitar track for sure. And then those were scratch vocals, and they're really good. I actually sang it into a mic, and I didn't make a note into which mic I sang it in. I think though it was a Samson Q7, it's something I don't normally record vocals with, but maybe I like the aggression that I'm singing it with. I've listened to the mix enough now that I like it, but I may not keep it. So that's where I'm at. So pre-production wise, I've gone through the whole thing of, I sat down once, I had an idea, I put it through there. I've now kind of went through the process. I've started to do it, and I've played enough, even drum programming enough to where the drum program I'm pretty happy about. I probably won't touch the drums at all. Now the lyric in the bridge, I just kind of ad-libbed. And though it's pretty cool, it's not quite there, so I'll actually write more straight out for that. And there are no background vocals in this track. So my notes basically tell you, okay, I'm going to redo the acoustic guitar, possibly. I'm going to redo the electric guitar. I'm going to redo the bass. Probably add lead guitar. I'll add, maybe redo my vocal. I'm definitely going to write the bridge lyrics. And do I need BGVs in there? Hey, John, how are you? Good to see you. Glad you joined us. So just kind of walking through my album that I'm going to be trying to finish up and release here in the next couple months. And that's what I'm doing, just to catch all up for people who just signed in. And I saw John there. So that's the first song, E is for Everything. Then the next song I go to is the song about my grandson called Budrow on the Move. And it was written because this little guy just gets along. And we were in Tennessee visiting, and my wife said, look, Budrow's on the move. And I just, you know, it sounded like a song. So Budrow on the move. So I wrote this, and this is in demo form. I've done enough kind of the I know the song now. But now I'm analyzing what's going to happen with this piece. And this is kind of how it sounds so far.
Budrow on the move, look out, Budrow's coming. Budrow on the move, Budrow on the move, look out, Budrow's coming. Budrow on the move, moving fast, his little legs, in your mind there's something big.
Okay, so just to catch you up from where we're at, I listened to this before, and I've listened to it again, and I'm hearing some things, and I've made notes. Once more, I've made notes. Basically, I'll probably redo the acoustic guitar. This was a hard and fast, get this song out of me, get it down, produce it. I'll definitely have to do some finishing of the drum program. There is no lead guitar to speak of. Probably the acoustic guitar maybe needs redone. The electric guitar was just an idea I threw down weeks later. Definitely probably redo the lead vocals, and there has to be some background vocals there. We're just a little bit right there, and it's pretty cool, and that gave me the idea after I laid those down. So I'll be adding more of those. But from a songwriting process, hey, this is part of the process to finish this thing and to keep this thing going. So I've got a lot of work to do on that song, and it's all right there. Now there's this little place right here that says add Vashti was a monster, and that's because I basically wrote this song around a song that I used to sing to my oldest daughter when she was a kid, and I used to sing Vashti was a monster, she lived in a dark cave, and Bud Row on the move, look out, Bud Row's coming, Bud Row on the move. I mean, it's basically about the same song. So because it's my grandson from my daughter, I thought maybe I would fashion a new part into this at the end where I actually do the Vashti was a monster. So it's not in the demo. It was never in the original idea. So I will add that, and I make the note to myself, hey, this is part of the process of songwriting. This is part of the process of, I'm taking this from pre-production to production. I'm going all the way out, and when I do this, I know that at the end I want to add that part. So if you're just joining me, thank you so much for joining me. If you're leaving because I'm boring, I appreciate you staying for a while. If you enjoy what you're having, what you're being a part of, do me a favor, hit like, and would you hit share? Maybe do a watch party, have all your friends join in. You can do that later even. And if you really enjoy and get something out of it, there's a tip jar at the top by the description. Really appreciate your support. Hi, Franklin. How are you? So anyway, I'm moving on. I'm just going to try to burst through these things in 30 minutes as much as we can. Just a kind of a pre-production meeting on where we're at in the songwriting process and the finish process of the new album, The E is for Everything. The next song that I'd be listening to is a song called It's Better This Way. It was a song that I started to write about a year ago. Some hard things happened in life, and I kind of put songwriting and everything down. I just kind of threw up my hands, started to eat bonbons and watch soap operas for a few weeks, and about the first thing that I sat down to write was the song called "It's Better This Way," and it's a song about a breakup. I'm just not gonna lie about it. A song about losing a friend, and so. I did an awful lot of production on this, so I'll listen to this and I'll decide what needs to happen as far as production goes. Now, one of the very first things that I heard is something that I first wrote when I first did the pre-production notes, okay? I said, add strings or a cello to the first verse. I mean, the whole first area has a, has a melody. And then I was telling myself maybe to add a cello or something. Yeah, and so I'm telling myself, play around with something, write something, which I just did, kind of, by the way. And so that's a note that I have. This thing builds. I did an awful lot of work to this song. I realized that I don't even have any more than just an acoustic guitar track. So one of the things I wrote down that I'll need to look at doing the guitar track. I'll need to look at maybe redoing my vocal, but definitely I'll look at the drum programming. And then one of the notes I wrote is to a bass in the lead guitar part. Now I do have a lead guitar part actually that I played, I believe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. No, see, it's there, but I never played a lead part, so I actually have to go in and do that now. But that's kind of a final mix thing, not mix, but final part of the creation. And just a nice basic track. I think the whole thing has a nice feel. I'm really happy with the general vicinity of where things have landed. And I'll, again, my notes are pretty straightforward. Better without you. I just need to add some strings. I'll here you go. Look at the drum programming. I'll do a bass in the lead part. I'll probably redo some of that because there's maybe redo all of it, possibly the acoustic guitar, redo my vocals, add background. There's no backgrounds, but of course that's the beauty of finishing the song up. So that's part of what I'll do. Moving on, and Franklin, the answer to your question is 24 gigs of RAM in this computer. I'm pretty sure it's 24. So, which I need because I use all kind of plugins. The more plugins I use, the more memory that I've had. I'm not going to get very far in the album, but I'm going to share enough of the album that you'll hear some tidbits of what's to come. The next song is a song called "This Is a Story," kind of a fun, upbeat tune, and I got a lot of this done actually. And that's kind of what that song sounds like, and I made some notes already. The whole song kind of just goes that way. There's a lead part and some other things. Probably I realized I'm an acoustic guitar player, especially live. I like playing acoustic guitar live. Doesn't mean I won't play electric live. I just play acoustic live. I never put an acoustic track in this song yet at all, so I will add an acoustic track. There's sloppiness all over the beginning, but it was, again, the idea of getting this thing down. So for me, the part of this process is just going through this and analyzing, okay, I've got a song. It's all together. Where's it going? What's it doing? What do I need? And that's what this is about. So again, I've made my notes, and they're pretty straightforward. I'm going to add an acoustic guitar track because I think... I'd be playing along with this song. I wouldn't play this intro at all, actually. I would play... I'd just let the electric guitar players go, Ow. And I'd probably go... Now, all of a sudden, that because then I'd be able to sing without doing all that rocket. This is the story about a man I knew was something wrong. That sounds easier to sing live than playing all the extra stuff. And I like the idea of a live idea that makes it so. Because the goal for me is to play everything live and get out there with a band and start playing everything. So I'll be adding a guitar part. And there's no vocals. They're good vocals. Again, I recorded this with a Samson Q7 handheld just to get the idea in. I didn't do it with a large diaphragm recording mic. which I usually use an Audio-Technica AT4033, and love that mic. I've had it for... Well, my daughter is going to be 27 years old this week, and I think I bought it during her first year old. So it's close to 27 years old, somewhere between 26 and 27. So I'll probably redo the vocals, make them a little brighter, make them a little more stand out, and I'll take a look at that drum programming because there are things that are missing when I did it. Again, just part of the process that I'm doing. And you know what? I'm taking a long time to do this and letting you in on this process. Maybe you feel like it's good. Maybe you feel like it's tedious right now. But trust me, if you feel like it's tedious, it's because it kind of is. And as a songwriter, as someone, especially if you're going to do your own stuff, unless you're going to go out, you have to have some money. You have to figure out how to do that kind of stuff. But if you have the ability to do it yourself and sit here and do it, this is the process you're going to go through. Not everything comes out as a finished product. And rarely, actually, has something come out as a finished product. A songwriting thing where, hey, I wrote a song and I left the first verse exactly the same. That happens. But when it comes to starting to record it and get something down, there's usually a lot of tweaking, a lot of re-recording that goes on. And so that's what's going on right here. Hey, I'm going to ask my wife, is there anybody that I should say hi to that normally comes in and sees us? Or?
Well, let's take a look.
Well, I don't know if usually I hear that John's with us or Mark's with us or somebody. And
Mark Payne's with us.
Mark Payne is with us, of course. Well, that's awesome. Hey, Mark, good to see you. I hope you're enjoying this. This is the meat and potatoes of what I do.
Dave Montgomery.
Oh, Dave Montgomery, Big Dave, the Big D going on. Hey, man, good to see you.
Miranda.
Who?
Drittenboss.
Miranda Drittenboss is with us. Oh my goodness, how cool is that?
Porter.
And who?
LaVoice Porter.
LaVoice Porter stopped by. Well, nice. I don't know if we've ever met, just maybe briefly, but that is very cool. Yeah, just briefly. So glad you joined us for a moment. And
Kendall.
Oh, Kendall Thompson's there. Hey, cool. Hi, Kendall. And she liked your things that we made.
Debbie from Orange City.
Debbie
I worked with her sister Donna.
Debbie from Orange City.
Yes.
Okay. Well, hey, Debbie from Orange City. Good to see you.
Awesome.
And I'm sure we missed other people. I apologize if I didn't get to you, Listen, a few more. I'm just going to go through a few more of these. Again, it can seem tedious, but you know what? You're in the process with me of making notes, seeing where the new album's going. And this next song is called It's There For Me. It's actually one of my favorite songs. When I started to do it, my wife even said, I like this one. And that's good.
It's infectious.
Yeah, it's kind of an infectious little thing. Nothing I expected to enjoy. But when I did it, it was like, this just feels like a song I want to finish. And so this next song is kind of just a simple, says just what you need to say. To me, it does.
Mama said, boy, you better run. Mama said, go away, son, get away from here. Sister said, why you standing there? Brother said, if you really care, you can stay right here. But I know it's there for me.
So one of the things I hear right away is that, and of course you're sitting there and you're listening to it for the first time and you don't hear the stuff I've been listening to over and over, but I'm playing pretty quick on my guitar parts and probably originally played it to a click before I ever started putting a kick drum or anything in. So one of the things I know I'm going to do is redo the guitar parts. And there's a part that's sitting over here. You don't probably hear the separation and everything, but I actually play two different parts, and the second guitar sits over in this speaker. And I'm thinking maybe instead of two steel string guitars that I'll put a nylon in it. And I can, let me show you so that you understand maybe. I can do it this way. So that you can hear what I'm talking about. That's one part. Okay, so one part I'm doing kind of a strummy, and the other part I'm doing, and that's really out of tune. I apologize for that. But nylon strings, the windows are open. It's a beautiful day, and the nylon's just stretching. But I think I want to create more separation of how the guitars sound. And again, that's a little different than just songwriting. At this point, we're talking about songwriting to a finished product. And so I will probably redo both guitar parts, try to tighten up my timing, put the nylon string guitar in the second speaker so that I have the strumming that I'm going to do when I'm singing. You know, and that's the way I'll strum and play. But then I'll put a second part over here on the nylon guitar and do the boom chick boom chick boom chick boom chick and have it a little softer, a little different feel. It'll be cool. And you know what? Sometimes I try it and I go, it was a great idea, but it didn't work. And then I go back and I do it with a steel string guitar or maybe an electric guitar. But I'm trying in this piece to have a totally acoustic feel. So what I'm trying to do is, and I think Batman will attest, right?
Yes.
Batman will attest that what I'm going for is that idea of you got half a dozen guys on stage, and you know there's a kick drum, and he's clapping. I know it's there for me, you know. And you got the bass with boom, boom, and it's acoustic bass and two acoustic guitar players. I mean, there's not a lot going on. There's not, you know, big strings or cello. It's very acoustic, very down home, sitting on your porch kind of a song. That's my vision. So when I do it, I want to really tighten this stuff up and separate it. That sounds weird if I say it like that. I want to tighten up the performance, but I want to separate those parts and make them really stand out. Ooh, I like the way that looked in the screen. But make them really stand out so that the listener, that's you, when you're listening to this, and if you're a songwriter or you're thinking about this, especially maybe one to produce, you want to create something where the listener, especially if they're in headphones, I mean, wow, they'll really hear those things that you do that separates. So one guitar's over here doing one thing and one guitar's over here doing another, and then these hand claps are smacking you in the middle of the face or something. I mean, you want to think about what's the vision of this song audibly beyond even the words and what the music is. And so I made a lot of notes for myself, told myself what I'm going to do, and I've done background vocals on it, and they're not perfect background vocals. I will be redoing that. Hey, Dr. Solberg is here. Good to see you, Kirk, and really miss seeing him in Central Florida. If anybody in Central Florida needs a great dentist, Kirk Solberg, and I put my 2 cent little commercial in for him. Okay, so that's that song. That's probably my favorite song. Is It's There For Me. Of the songs on the album, the E is for Everything. It's just the rockin' song that I can't wait to play live. But It's There For Me is going to be a song that I think will be something to reckon with. Next song we're going to go through, and I'm really just about done with you, and I'm only halfway through the album. Maybe next week we'll walk through the rest of the album. Is a song called Always Love, and this is terribly mixed here on here because it's just been worked on as far as getting the parts down. But this was a song that's written about my mom, and just had to make the album. So and now I've got I remember what happened. The other day I was playing this, and I decided that I played it at the wrong tempo. And so the original tempo was... And it just felt like a drudgery to listen to. And so I couldn't imagine being the listener as soon as I put this track together. It just sounded dead to me. So I grabbed my guitar and I went, okay, she took me church every day of my life, and I started playing and I tapped in the tempo, and I was really off my tempo wise. So what I decided is I'm actually going to have to build this whole song, even though I've written most of it and it's pretty much a produced out song. I did this one, probably one of the first songs that were produced as far as I did it. I'll probably resetting the tempo, going back and playing. Now, the nice thing about it is I have several parts, the drums, the organ, that are MIDI tracks that when I play them, they're just data. And so they'll follow my tempo when I make a tempo change. But I'll have to replay the guitars, the bass, and I'll have to re-sing the whole song. And I made those notes to me. Basically, here's my notes for this song called Always Love. It says, set the tempo to 140 and redo everything. And this is part of the process, folks. Sometimes you just go, wow, I just really missed the mark on that piece. And so that's what I did. Then I had this idea. This is a song about my mom. One of the singles I did a couple years ago was about my dad, and so it just felt time to do a song about my mom. And my mom brought me up in church. I was a first newborn baby in a brand new building that she was a charter member of a church, and so I grew up in that building. And so church and music and choir and being there 3, 4, 5 times a week was just a part of the culture of my life. And I'm going to honor Mom by, at the end of this, when it comes down to the chorus, I have a drop-down section. And the chorus says, always remember, always be grateful, always help, and always love. And what I'm going to do is I'll write the choir parts out, and then I'll sing like 32 tracks of choir singing. And yes, I'll sing the soprano, and yes, I'll sing the alto, and I have tools that'll make me sound like a girl in here. And so when I play it behind my lead vocal, it'll sound like a 32 voice choir singing behind me. But yeah, I'll do that because I want to honor Mom and throw in this church choir kind of sound. And so all those notes are now made, and that's kind of where I am on that. Listen, the last song I'm going to share, I'm kind of going long for myself. But I want to finish at least this process with the half of the album. Thank you for joining me, by the way. I see Bud Schreiber and I see Kathy Bennett Roman. I see Kathy Bennett, and I remember you from before you were married years and years ago. And then if I didn't see Roman, I'd just say Kathy Roman easy because it's funny, but hey, it's nice to see you, Kathy. Anyway, that's an odd thing to have said and noticed, isn't it? My wife laughs at me when I do funny stuff like that. I love when you share
Bishop history.
Well, it's just true. When you know somebody from before they were married, you remember them, and then their Facebook name comes up and it says Kathy Bennett Roman, right?
Like Alyssa Weinstein.
And I know, yes, exactly, like your friend
Weinstein.
Alyssa. And so I know Kathy is Kathy Bennett, but I know Kathy is Kathy Roman, so it just, sorry about that. Last song that I'm going to go through and make this, wrap this up. Again, my album has 13 songs. This is the 7th song, I think. It's a song called And I Always Will. And so this is basically a story about a couple who have just come to an impasse. We've all been there in some of us have been through tough times in our only marriage, and some of us have been on another marriage. Some of us have never been married, but we still understand relationship trouble. So this song is about a couple who comes to an impasse, and the man comes in and says, you know what, I've had enough. And the song really is about them deciding that it's worth fighting for. And where the chorus comes down to say, you know, baby, I love you and I always will. And so just again, as part of the process of pre-production into this thing, hey, Jamie Regulus has joined us. I saw him. Good to see you. So just as a process of the pre-production for this album, here's the 7th song, the last one I'm going to hit for you today, and let you in on some of my notes. But yeah, I always will.
Can't take anymore. Her eyes filled up with tears.
So, just to make things fast, I listened through this thing the other day, and things I noticed is I need to redo the second acoustic guitar part. Not the little leads. I like a lot of those, and of course they'll be mixed differently, but I really realized that I did some things that were kind of off. And again, these weren't finished tracks by all means, but some of them can be. I'll redo the lead vocals because I was just trying to get a feel for where this song was at. I want to, during the chorus, you never got to the chorus yet, so let me get you to a chorus. So, where's the chorus? Yeah.
She said, baby, I love you, and I always will. She said, baby, I need you, and
And so those were really nice, and I recorded those, and I think I've made them finals. But I've decided that I just want them bigger, so I'm actually going to double those. So again, I made notes for that song. Basically, I told myself I'm going to redo the second guitar, maybe the bass. I will definitely redo the lead vocals. I am going to double the background vocals. And then I got to build the drums. There's one section that I actually didn't finish the drum programming. So again, once again, this is part of the process of getting something finished. I've been in pre-production. I've been throwing these songs together now for almost a year. It's time to tighten them up, pull them together. Next week I will share with you the next part, the next 6 songs, and where I'm at in this process. But during the next few days, what I'll be doing is going through this list and deciding where and when I'm going to tighten these things up. So that's kind of it. Hey, Franklin asked me a question I don't want to ignore. He wants to know if my monitor speakers are powered. Yes, they are. You can see right here behind Batman's cape, that little light right there usually is an indicator of a powered monitor. If you look at powered speakers in somebody's studio, you see a little light. Normally says they have an amp built in. That way, when you're out here, you know if they're on. But a lot of great studio speakers have they're not powered, and you have to have a power amp. These I've had for I want to say a long time. 15 or more years. I'm not exactly sure. It's been quite a while. Could be 20. Could be 20 years. My kids are 27. It could be probably.
You can reference it as to pre-carry or post-carry.
No, it's way pre-carry. It's like early kids, And now I judge everything by how old my children are. They will be 23 and 27 this week. April 16th and April 17th, my children have birthdays, and they're adults, and I have grandkids, and I feel old, and yet I feel young, especially when I start working on music and getting into things and still doing the stuff I love. So thanks for spending some time with me, everyone. I really appreciate it. I have gone really long-winded today. Just wanted to get through part of the album and pre-production to kind of share with you where I'm at, how I make those decisions, and just to show you, like on one song, you got to redo it, So I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please hit share. Share it with your friends. Maybe do a watch party. You can do it at any time. You can do it later. You can do it tomorrow.
Hey,
and you also hit like if you did. Carrie wants to say something.
We got a shout out to Michelle Capel Rodriguez.
Shout out to Michelle Rodriguez. So
she's my golf buddy from high school.
Golf buddy from high school from Carrie. So thank you, Michelle, for joining us.
She loves your music.
Well, thank you, Michelle. She loves my music, and I love hearing that. So share what you've heard just in this time. I will be back on Thursdays, every Thursday at 3 o'clock for a little mini concert, share some songs with you. That's me and my guitar, nothing big usually. And starting tomorrow again, at some point, I'm going to go live just with a brand new song. I'm going to push myself tomorrow to do a brand new song, and I'll try to do that every day this week during the weekdays. So thank you so much for joining me. Once more, hit like, hit share, and if you really enjoyed it and you'd like to leave me a tip, it would certainly come in handy nowadays, and you can do that right up above at the what do you call that? Description. I don't know why sometimes I remember it and sometimes I don't. So there's in the description area, there's a little place you can just leave me a PayPal tip. So thank you very much. If you have questions, listen, you found me here. It's easy to find me. It's easy to hit me up on my Facebook page, Randy E. Bishop Musician page. Some of you are my friends as Randy Bishop. But please ask me questions, and then if I don't answer you during the week, then I'll maybe try to answer you here live sometime. So thanks for watching. I hope you are doing well. I hope your families are doing well. God bless you, and appreciate you spending a few moments with me. Somebody's trying to get a hold of me, so I better go. Okay? See you later. Bye-bye.